Please stand for the pledge and identification.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, thank you for the beautiful days you've given us. Thank you for all that you've done for us, dear Lord. Please lead us and guide us in the direction you'd like us to go. Dear Lord, be with those that need your assistance, dear Lord. We need the healing hands upon them. We have many in our own family here. Dear Lord, keep watch on them as I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Before we go any further, we have an addition to the agenda. And motion to accept this addition.
I'll make a motion that we add the permission to rebid the sidewalk at the West County School.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. That'll be the last item of the agenda. And let me explain something. I bought a new pair of shoes yesterday, and the back half of them is cushioned. I feel like I'm walking like a drunk man. If you see me staggering around, that's what it's all about.
Sure.
There's a consent agenda. Okay, Angie, on that permission to destroy those records, you're gonna call in the shredder truck, right?
Yes.
Okay. Rich had a very good idea the last time about the possibility of allowing citizens to bring in records to be shredded. When you call them, can you find out a price, maybe for a maker box?
Sure.
Or something like that? And then we can put that on our website. Thank you, Rich.
Thank
So
you.
We'll find that out if that works or not. Okay, motion to accept the consent agenda.
Aye.
Oh,
Or, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go ahead. Barry,
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, permission to apply for a grant. Who's gonna do this? Okay, Brian's not here. What, on that building, you see those, 5 boxes on there?
Mhm.
That's an old vent system, it's not used anymore. And we wanna take those off and sheet that, opening in, and then put new shingles on the whole roof before we put solar cells up. So that's the process of this. Motion. All right.
So I make a motion, give permission to apply for the grant, the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant, 50,000, no match.
Second.
I'll second that.
Questions? Yes, Rich?
Does that $50,000 cover the cost of the panels?
No, it won't cover nearly all of it. It'll be a help.
So do you have an estimate at this point?
Permission to bid says we can't talk about dollars.
But you do have a budget item for this?
Amber?
Well, we won't. It's, we're gonna apply for the grant. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we just don't do the project. And, is that correct? I mean, that's usually how it goes. And I think there might be a dollar mismatch here where it was up to 500,000, but I think it's a zero, a couple zeros with that dollar. Is that correct? I don't know. So it's up to $500,000 for the project.
Typically, what will happen if a grant is applied for and we don't have the notice of award before the end of the year, we don't include it in the budget. However, statute allows for a budget amendment to be done on the stipulation that it's new money coming in. So we wouldn't have anticipated that money in the budget, therefore we can amend it when we get it. If we
Rich, when we did the estimates, when we looked at solar a couple years ago, it didn't make much financial sense for something like this. You would get a grant to help, because at the current interest rates, it was not a break even. It was a break even, except the life expectancy of the panels would break down before you got all your payback. This would let you pay it back in about 5 years quicker.
The nasty little secret is we need to get those boxes off and need to get a new roof on. So this helps pay for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Dave. Okay, Carol.
Well, my question is, you know, if they do that and you put a new roof on, how does that affect the insurance for the new roof with them putting all the new holes in there? Or does it? And is there enough land there that the panels can be placed off the roof?
On available land, probably not. There is an area behind the building on the lower left side of that picture, but it's all swampland. That's where we have a water problem there. We need to get a French drain around the back of the building, a buried rock drainage system to carry that water away, but we have not done that yet.
When they did the preliminary, the roof was the solution for the solar panels. That was the most efficient place to put it. The only problem is, to address your other point, you do have to insure it.
Okay. And we have reached out to somebody that's got a lot more experience than we do in it, so, very knowledgeable company, Vergy at this time, and they're trying to help us with the writing the grant and put the numbers in, and also how much will that need to be reinforced? Because was it made to hold that much weight on the roof? There needs to be some stuff done, so they're very knowledgeable in that, and they're helping us out with what we can do. Thank you.
Carol?
Kevin may partially have answered my question, piggybacking on putting them somewhere else. Is there has it been considered to use it over parking areas? I know up in Maryland Heights, they have, at their community center, they have solar panels, and they've used them to cover parking areas.
Yeah, when we bid that out, that was the most expensive
Okay.
manner to use. Lease was on flat ground with, can't be too far away from the building because you have to retain the power without running a long line. But we looked at it, building them out here and doing it, and that was the most expensive, and that did not have a payback.
Yeah, the
Putting on the
payback.
roof was the most efficient as far as payback.
Well, long term, what's the projected lifetime of a new roof? Because when panels go on, you gotta get a new roof, you gotta take the panels off to do the roof and put it back on. So I'm suspecting you all have already studied this, I'm just asking the question.
I know, and I don't have that answer.
That's why we're using.
When we looked at it originally, it was a 20 to 30-year roof, so if it didn't last that long, we had a problem. The life expectancy of the solar panels were 14 to 16 years.
Yeah, gotcha.
We got that building in 2017, and I think they said the roof was 2 years old at that time. So 15 would be the time, approximate age of the roof. But Brian tells me those are cheap shingles on that now.
Great questions.
Okay, anything else? Okay, permission to apply for grant.
I'll make a motion, we give permission to apply for the grant. Oh, wait, I already did it.
So you did that. Now, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, request for bid, door security badges. Again, Brian's not here. I know we have at least one office, don't see her here, that wants door security badges for her office too. So, permission to apply for, to request a bid, put out a bid request for this, and door security badges for all the county buildings. Motion?
I'll make a motion that we give permission to bid for the door security badges for the county buildings through maintenance and IT.
I'll second that. And what Brian was talking about, he wanted to bid this out. We were talking the other day about it, where he would like to get a bid where he can use one person, and they would actually, when we get this bid, to come up with one bid for every building that we have. He thought it would be, I think right now we've got different areas where different badges are used, and he wanted to really connect them all to one agency where it would help.
Now, are these exterior doors only?
No, I
So there'll be some
think it would
interior
be,
doors too?
yes.
Okay. Dan?
Just to let, no, we already have these over at our facility.
Yeah.
Inside and outside, and you can set those up even using one company throughout the whole, so that Harold could get in a door that I couldn't get in, or I could get in a place that Dave couldn't get in.
Do you tell the detainees the number?
But we don't let them have access to any of those.
Just check it.
And I think, Dan, what you're talking about too, I think yours is separate from the rest of the annex, and that, I think your system is actually different from the others.
They are, but it could be expanded and
Yeah.
you can set on by your key card.
Right.
Who can go through that door.
Okay. And there's a record kept
Yes.
of that too.
Yes, we know.
Yes,
who's
Amber.
coming and going.
Amber?
So I know this was included in the 24 budget, but I guess it's safe to assume that this, if awarded, would not be completed until 2025?
Yeah, and I think we've extended that budget
I'm
over to
almost
that.
sure, yeah.
We've met with Dan, or Brian, I think we've extended that. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
I just got a comment with this because, you know, from our IT department to personnel, people may have keys to the interior doors of offices, but on a couple occasions, we've had issues getting keys back from employees who have separated with the county.
Yeah.
The key cards are huge because if they leave,
Cancel it.
they can't access the building
Yeah.
without somebody else letting them in. So at least we know when that key's outstanding to recover that key until we get that key back. So the key cards are, you know, entering the buildings is a
Yeah.
big deal, I think.
Good point. Yes, Dan?
They, right, but we can't, if you leave with your key card, we can cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's based on employment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments? Okay, all in favor of going out for this bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, permission to apply for a, there it is, fiscal year 2024 state and federal, state and local cybersecurity grant program. Who's gonna talk about it?
Well, I think Nick was gone today, wasn't he?
Yes.
Well, Bridget probably was going to. I mean, I didn't get in on all this, but what it was just, this was a grant, I think we applied for it last year and didn't get it, and we were just gonna apply for it this year and see if we could get it, but it would help.
Do you remember the amount and is it matching?
I don't think there's a match on it, no, but I'm not sure. She's not here today. She was,
Yeah, she's injured herself.
she's injured, so she couldn't be here today, so we could, I think we needed to get this done quick. And I wish she was here to talk about it, and if we table it till she gets back, I don't know if we'll be able to apply for it.
Let's go ahead and act on it. Yes,
If I remember right, I think this is to help cover our cybersecurity insurance premiums.
That's correct.
Yes.
Because that's something that MOPR no longer covered us for. They quit covering counties, and so this was to help offset our cost, I believe.
And I'm pretty sure we need to
Our
act
match
on
is
it today.
45,000, and we can apply for up to 150,000.
Yeah.
is it a match?
Up to 45,000.
Okay, okay.
Awesome.
Okay, Rich, you have something?
No, sir.
Okay, somebody else? Okay,
And I'll second that.
okay, second. Now, any other comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, here's the addition of it. We need to rebid the sidewalks at West County School. We cannot talk dollars, because this is a bid item. So you wanna talk about it?
Well, this is what we were gonna, we wanted to rebid this because this project is for the safety of those kids over there at the West County, the schools. And we wanted to rebid it here in the upcoming months in the winter to see if we can get this cost down a little bit from projected costs. But the engineers had to present that and what we could put it in for, and it was way over. So what we're gonna do is rebid it and hope we can afford this, this tap for West County. And you know, I'm hoping this happens because I don't know if any of you are familiar over there when you drive that. Those kids are walking in the grass out on the road, and it connects the high school all the way around to the ball fields. And for the safety of those kids over there, we need this. And the reason this was happening, this was the only school in the county we could bid this tap for, because the rest of them are in the city limits. And that school is in the county, and that's why we went.
When he says walking in the road, that's State Highway M. It's not just some side road, it's a fast road.
They're literally walking on the highway.
And it will attach, it's nice because we'll go to the city limits, so where they could attach, the city could attach it onto our, to this tap trail, grant trail, whatever you wanna call it, so.
How long has this been going on?
Well, I wish that when we bid a tap, that we could actually receive the money and do it, but it don't work like that, because I think this would probably already be done if they change the way they do it, but it's not gonna happen, so.
I think we originally got this grant in 23.
It was the first project we really did when we started on, and
It's either 22 or 23, it's just been,
by the time they bid it, you know, really a lot of the ARPA people were working, and it was a bad time, so I think this is a good time to rebid it, and maybe we'll get where we can afford to do it.
Are we gonna market our bid anymore, any differently? Because we only had 2 respondents last time. Is there any way we can publicize that a little more?
Yeah, I think they have it out now, and, you know, we were projecting 10, 12 bids on this, and we only got 2, because a lot of them were busy. They had, they were doing other jobs, so.
Well, Kerry, is one of the issues, and I know we run into this with Road and Bridge, from the time you apply for the grant and you have a projected cost, and maybe 2 or 3 years later you're awarded it, well, the costs have substantially increased in those 2 or 3 years.
Well, not only that, and to hold up the studies you have to do for those grants, it's just, I mean.
And by the time you award the bid, the price is 30% more.
If we could have got the, started at the time the bid was, or the tap was awarded, it would have been a lot better.
It's just
Yeah.
the process the government uses to get the grant, it hurts.
We run it, Road and Bridge runs into that issue.
Gotta wait for the bats to fly out of town too, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
Should not say that stuff.
I have motion for that. Any
Yes.
questions, comments? Yes, Rich?
I'm gonna ask a question that'll probably silence the crowd, and you'll look at me rather strangely.
I do that all the time.
What's the life of one child worth?
That's true.
Okay?
I agree with you.
You know, we can, I was gonna say, I've been coming here for a bunch of years, and that's all I've heard about is the sidewalk, but it's been just a couple.
Yeah.
And truth be told,
And
you know, I think a quicker response is required to assure their safety than what we're just talking about this morning.
Kicking it down the road. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Just my 2 cents.
Yep.
We've got 2 things in our favor now, that if we bid, well, 3. One, it should be a slower bidding time. Second thing is we get to carry over the amount that we budgeted from last year into this year. If we have to add to it, it's not gonna be a huge addition on the thing, and hopefully those 2 things will come into. And the other thing is, we have reached out to the school district, and they're examining their budget to try to put some money in. They cannot put $1 million, but they could put 50,000. And
Yeah.
we're asking them for that.
It's really a good help, because it got everybody organized, Rich. We're trying everything we can. What you said is correct.
Thank you.
I mean, all it takes is one person,
Right.
you know, and it.
And after that, hindsight becomes 20/20.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of finger pointing.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
need that.
Good point. Okay, any other comments? Yes, Dan?
I did, and it hasn't been mentioned here today, but that is just a 2-lane blacktop road with really no shoulders and barely room enough for cars to pass each other, much less if there's kids or people out there on that road.
State highway.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
And I seconded that.
All in favor of, did I get a second?
Yeah, and I seconded it,
All in favor of the rebid, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, correspondence. Public comments. Departmental reports. Yes, Dan?
Just to, let everyone know, and we said this last month, but December 17th and 19th will be our Shop with the Cop program. Encourage everybody to come out and be a part of that, or participate, or just come out and watch. 17th will be at Walmart at 6:30 in the morning, and then the makeup day will be the 19th at 5:30 in the evening. If people can't be there in the morning, they can certainly come on the 19th in the evening.
Still the largest one in the nation?
Still the largest one. We're thinking about upping the amount, and we've done that. We had a meeting, and we always did $100 per child. with the cost of living and everything that's going on, we've jacked it up to $125 per child this year, and the money's come in, we can afford it. I want to thank all of you that have been a part of raising those funds over the year.
About how many kids?
We done 610 last year, and we're on that probably to hit that again this year.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Yes.
Is this both at Farmington Walmart, or is one to load?
The makeup, they will be below.
That's one at 5:30 p.m.
Okay. Any other departmental reports?
Yes, the.
I bet you're gonna talk about elections.
Yeah, we are. We got it done, and Friday, they finalized it. For those, Carol was there. You weren't there Friday during the, yeah, you were the audit. Would that take 6 hours?
All
Do one-
day.
One precinct, for those who want to go back to Hand County.
Oh, we only counted 13 of 31
Items on that one precinct. But we got that finalized. At about 67% turnout. We expected more than 70, but the rain both Monday took us down there. We expected 2,000 people to vote at my office on Monday, and we ended up with about 1,200 because for a period of time there was rain so hard that nobody was coming in. And then the next day we had to move one precinct in Iron Mountain Lake, and you'll find it curious, at least I did, that was their largest turnout ever. When we moved. And that, I think, because the radio talked about you've got to go here, you gotta go there instead, and it just brought back the people, but they had almost 400 people vote at that precinct in Iron Mountain Lake, which they never have over 150 or so. I wanted to thank Jackie, Valencia, and Emily, who the past 2 weeks, we thought it was a good idea when we expanded the hours out at the Weber facility. It didn't seem like that good idea after about 2 hours of the 12-hour days. So they are going to hopefully get some time off this week. Also, want to thank our crew here, Linda, Rhonda, Teresa, Corey. We shut the office down, as you're aware. Phone started ringing at a little after 5. Every phone line we have was tied up until 7:20 that night. We fielded over 1,500, way over 1,500 calls. We had over 1,000 change of address. Remember, I talked 2 weeks ago, if you don't want to vote early, at least call and change your address, because 40% of the people that voted last week hadn't voted in 4 years. People in this county, in a 4-year period, a lot of them moved, but they did not do that. And the legislature, in their wisdom, decided that you could change your address the day of the election. So that line was from our office all the way out to the front door, because you have to, if they came from Hillsborough, you have to, through the state computers, take them off their registration in Hillsborough to keep them from having the opportunity to vote twice. Keep them, take them off Hillsborough before they can put them on where down here. So I just want to thank all those ladies that worked hard, and our poll workers. We had 140, 150 people involved with receiving and the taking in. We had everything wrapped up by 8:30 with our largest turnout, I think, ever, and had it done at 8:30. And that could have been better for that. They put in. The lady that was here with Atkins actually offered to buy lunch, said she'd buy lunch at noon. They got lunch at 7:30 that night. So because they literally could not answer the phones fast enough and stuff. So we appreciate their efforts.
I worked at Marvin Chapel. It went very smoothly. They had well over 1,000 voters. No real significant downtime on that, but everything, all the people were very polite. No issues at all. I had one lady come in wearing a cap, and we asked her to take it off, and she laid it over on
Did look good on her?
whatever. But she was very polite about it, and it worked out well. I was happy to be
that
there.
would have happened all the times over at ours, because we did get some people that were pretty belligerent.
Yeah, this lady was very polite.
We appreciate your work. And Louis, we had our person that runs all the names of the people who vote on Saturday and Monday. Our computers go out to the sites before that, so we don't have that in there. So he took the list up north and started up north, and I started south, and Louis ran around that day for us too. and everybody pitched in, and real good turnout. And it's a lot of work at the precincts, but it's great when it turns out. Okay, Terry Lack, we had to move the one. If we would've got the rain they predicted that went west of us the next night, VFW water was up to the door, the back door, and we would've had to move that one, and that's about the 5th biggest precinct. And then Elvin's, Brady Elvin's basement might not have held up, because it was leaking pretty good for a while there. So.
Okay, any other departmental reports? Yeah, Dan?
I just wanted to make known that all the years I've owned at Marvin Chapel, this is the first year I've been harassed there.
Yeah.
I won't mention any names.
Don't mention any names, yeah.
His initials is Harold.
Yeah, right. But his wife came in later and I was polite to her.
That's true too.
Yeah. that was-
It was 2 years ago, it ran smoothly.
The best part of the family came in later. So.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay. I'm going to talk about definitions now. This is the Iron Mountain Lake, and the dam itself is 1,200 feet long. It's made out of earth, compacted earth. It's been there about 80 years. And up on the top end part of the picture, you see the spillway. I'll show you another picture of that, and then the additional overflow down below. And then the roadway outside of that. So I want you to see what this is. The water did not flow over the dam. That is crucial. If the water had gone over the dam, you'd had a major breakdown. It would have eroded the soil and that. So the spillway is designed to let the water go by without letting it overtop the dam. And this system worked as designed during this. This is right about the peak of the rainfall. We had 8-inch rainfall, as you know. So the system worked as designed. Social media had it all wrong. A lot of the newscasts had it all wrong. Even our rave report had it wrong. The water, they said the water went over the dam. No, that's never gone over the dam. And it's important that you know that. This is the picture just below the spillway and the turbulent flow of the water coming over. The bridge is right there. At that point, you couldn't see what was left of the bridge. Now, I know the bridge is antique, has a lot of rotted wood on it, and at that point, we didn't know what the bridge was like. And now to this day, we don't know about the underpinnings of the bridge. I have a mistake on that bottom line. Clay's going to address that.
Okay, so this bridge is a county bridge. It is not. None of the roadways throughout the entire area of Iron Mountain Lake are part of San Francisco County's road and bridges infrastructure, nor is this bridge. Now, it is on the state list of bridges, as is every bridge in the county, whether that bridge is within city limits, whether it is on a state highway. The bridges that we concern ourselves with are the ones that are on county roadways. This is a deficient bridge on the state's list, but it is not a San Francisco County bridge. This belongs to the community of Iron Mountain Lake.
Okay. Now, the reason the county is so involved with this system, this is in the city of Iron Mountain Lake. It is not under normal auspices of the county. But the reason the county is so involved is if this is a major problem, it affects so many county residents down below. And so I used a scenario earlier. If you have a biting dog biting a bunch of people, you need to solve the dog problem and then treat the people. And this, if we can solve this biting dog problem here, if the dam does fail, then, so the county is involved very much in trying to save this bridge, helping the city of Iron Mountain Lake save the dam. That's what we're trying to do.
You see the end of the road, very up there to that little white speck, that's our precinct.
Yeah.
That's what the people would have to go to get to the precinct.
Now they can go around
That was
Kingsville
flooded
Road.
up-
That was underwater.
Yeah.
That was underwater.
That was,
That's why
Harold?
we had to move it to this side.
Harold,
Yes.
where
You
does the
know-
water go? Where
Down
where-
Indian Creek.
Indian
Down
Creek.
Indian Creek.
Downhill.
Where?
Indian Creek. Ignore him.
Well, and then you can imagine all that rainfall. We did have some people, I know, me and Mike watched I wanted to give a shout out to the fire departments over at Owl Creek, which would be in the river there. We had some individuals that wanted to kayak in that. And the Leadwood Fire Department come out and they were very professional. While we were sitting there, what, Mike, 15 minutes? They unloaded they had practiced, they unloaded, and within 15 minutes, they brought him back up there.
Also on this, I wanna thank everybody that was, all the volunteers, ton of fire departments involved in it, ton of SEMA was there, state patrol was there a long time out there. Our guys, the road and bridge crew, amazing job. And all the people that reached out, I actually had to send word out on what's going on in St. Francis County, and Christy Yoder gets a lot of flack a lot of times, but she did a great job getting word out. People wanted to reach out all over the community and help us out with this, and they fed our volunteers, and I had so many calls. I had to tell people that, hey, if this last 2 days or 3 days, I will call you. You'll be on my next in line. I had a list going. So I just want to thank everybody that came out and helped with this. It was amazing to watch it all in action, and we even had a crew, up in Jefferson, R7 crew came down, and when they come in their suits, all but NASA with their helmets on, they didn't have, but it was amazing to watch. So just thank everybody involved. These guys here for getting things moved in the right direction.
And Nick
with our
working in emergency management. He called in
him and
everybody.
Chucky, they did exactly. You watched it happen. He wrote on the board, bam, they went out and did their job, and just a well-oiled machine that day. It was nice.
And Dave took all these pictures, by the way, so thank you for that.
Well, the pressure standing down there, it felt, the wind wasn't blowing very much there, but I'm telling you what, it was so much pressure off of that dam, had a hard time walking.
Off the dam?
Well, I'm sorry, off the spillway.
What's your
The
definition?
spillway did its job, and the secondary did its job.
Watch your damn terminology.
I was standing close enough to it that I was about getting blown over with the pressure there. It was amazing just to watch.
And I would like to add, that bridge has been for quite some time, which you can't see, but you could today, under 5-ton weight limit. So school
See
buses,
the
fire
bridge there in
trucks,
that picture. And missing boards.
cannot cross it. The dam is leaking in some areas, and as I said before, this is not part of our infrastructure, but through the efforts of the county commission and their courtesy to the Iron Mountain Lake community, there's this area where the dam is leaking, and Road and Bridge has hauled them in some rock and helped shore that up, and then hauled them in some clay dirt that they're going to utilize to try to alleviate that dam leaking. But the bridge itself is due to be replaced through the BRO program that Iron Mountain Lake is doing through a private engineer. They're utilizing ARPA funds, and the county has afforded them to purchase some of our soft match credit. I could talk about how all this works, but it'll take me an hour. But anyway, we had the soft match credit to be able to sell to them for 50 cents on the dollar, which they purchased. So the process is underway to replace this bridge with a no weight limit. But the issues with the dam itself is totally another matter. But I would like to say, just to let everyone know, the county commission and St. Francis County has expended resources, so to speak, for the safety of the individuals both above and below the dam.
Yeah.
Well, while you're looking at that picture, a good thing to remember is fire trucks and school buses cannot go across that dam. They gotta go all the way around.
Right.
So this will help them when they get the bridge built, that actually a school bus and a fire truck can go across that bridge right there.
By all the way around, he's talking about going down to King School Road and then across to Brown Mountain
Brown
Road
Mountain, yeah.
to come back in that backside, which here is 100 yards.
And those roads on the other side were underwater. When that water was rushing over the dams, they were trapped in.
Okay, now at this picture, you can see at about the top of that weight limit sign is the top of the dam. And then you see where the road level is. Now, the bridge, the new bridge, will be about the same elevation, 4 feet higher or something like
Yes,
that,
yes.
as the roadway where this picture was taken. So they're gonna raise that bridge considerably. And then we
Harold,
have,
did you say that dam was 80 years old?
I think it was built in the 1940s. I believe that's right. And that's about when the mine started, and this was the first tailings pond of the mine. You're going
The
back to the mining
spillway
days now.
looks very reminiscent of WPA work, but I don't know if it was or not.
Anyway, IKO, the new granules plant at Iron Mountain Trap Rock, has volunteered to provide soil for fill and hauling. To get rid of their overburden, what it is. And so the plans are to elevate the bridge by 3 or 4 feet and then fill in all that area across that length of that picture with that fill, and this will back up the strength of the dam. So just actually fill that whole area and so make the dam that much wider. Now DNR has said that they want us to include a drainage area under the road, which is some kind of, will be a French drain or whatever. So to let the seepage out and not trap it in there. We don't want the dam to be saturated with water. We want clean water to flow through. So that is a plan, excuse me, for solving this problem in the long run. And so we have not volunteers or donations to do that. Anybody else? Question? Yeah, Dan.
Let you know that is an OWPA dam, and there's plugs, concrete plugs on the lake side of that. And when the water gets up too far, they bring a backhoe up there to reach over, divers go down, hook onto those plugs, and they jerk them out to let them. It's a pretty neat operation. The Corps engineer was involved in this when they first built that. And if you look right where it says weight on that weight limit sign, directly behind that is where that dam has been leaking for several years. And part of the concern that Clay was talking about, they need to get that patched up, get it fixed. The spillway system that they built back in those days, as you can see yet today, it's still doing its job. Between that spillway and the relief system, we've been down there over the years, I don't know how many times, thinking maybe that dam's gonna give way and bust, and telling people down below, you know, you're gonna need to evacuate. So far, it's done its job all these years.
Yeah.
Pretty neat piece of innovation for back in that time.
Anything else? Okay, now we're gonna talk about the collector. In her spare time, I don't know how she's doing. This is what she's working on. And she's working on the application for the Senate Bill 190. I think that's pretty well finished. And then the commission must act on instituting that system into the work. And the plan is to make it effective on 2025. Now the commission, she's also working on a partial payment or budget plan for your taxes starting next year. So to do that, the commission will have to act on, there's a rule now that you can't pay taxes partially. You have to pay everything or you can't pay anything at all. So we want to make that so you can make a partial payment. And with that, you can go in and make a budget plan payment. You can pay every month if you want to in your county taxes. So that's just, you know, it's something that will help some people. So she wants to get that going. Anything else, Angie?
That application process, it says it's instituting, take effect in 2025. Are we talking about it take place after the rebalancing of everything with the farm to school district, or reassessment of that?
Okay.
Take place, Eric, after, when do you figure you'll have the reassessment by? April? June? It would take place then, Harold, right after June?
Okay.
We would enact it.
What is the question?
The top.
The SB 190 provisions,
Okay.
when will those go into effect? After reassessment in June or prior?
Yeah, what year are you gonna apply for the SB? Is it gonna be the 25 tax year?
Angie?
Yes.
She said
That
yes.
will be the base year, and we can start the application process prior to that.
Okay, that would be the base year, but we need to clear this is a big deal. You're saying that the base year would be before or after you reassess the other parts of the county?
It would be after. We would have our reassessment done,
And that would take effect as of when, the reassessment?
For your bill for 2025.
So the bill for 2025. So I don't want to push this and have everybody say, well, you told me it was gonna be, and I got this higher bill here. That 190 is not supposed to, you know, you weren't supposed to have any increases. The people that are getting reassessed will have one last increase until everything's equalized, and we go for after that, correct? We just need to make sure that we time it that way and it's written that way, so that you don't get in a position where you say it takes effect after the reassessment, but in reality, they don't get that bill to pay it to the end of the year, and the Senate Bill 190 kicks in after that.
Yes.
Want to make sure that
Yep.
everything's written that way so that there's no discrepancy and people aren't screaming that they're not getting their tax break, or the people from the farm school district aren't screaming that they got reassessed 6 years ago and was promised that this would be done, and they are treated unfairly. So the timing is critical in that. We just need to make sure that that's, what we say it's gonna do is what it does.
Angie, about how many applications do you expect?
I would think around 2,300.
Okay, and each one of them has to be notarized.
Yes.
Okay, you ready for that?
We will be, we'll be discussing with his office.
Yeah, we
maybe.
need to get some people notarized there.
Yeah.
I don't.
Can you add notary to your office?
I have notaries.
You have that.
And I'm getting ready to have, another girl, because one is gonna retire next year, and so she gave up hers, so I'll have her replaced.
And when are you gonna do the applications?
We are looking to start in March, do March, April,
In-
May.
Can you see what I'm saying here?
Yes.
You do the applications, and then they get a tax increase
Right.
in their bill.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be clear that they do this application is for after the end of 25, not during the middle of 25.
I understand.
Rich can't see where people would be confused by that.
Yeah, well, we have tax sale, so we can't do it on them, and then we have tax season, so we've gotta definitely decide when to start the application process and end it. And if there is no set pattern, every county is doing it differently.
I know, I saw where St. Louis County is doing something that I think is not legal. They've put some restrictions on it, right? That bill didn't give you choices.
Right.
It gave you one thing you could choose to do. And St. Louis County chose to not
To do it their way.
make people, anybody's house is over 500,000, which eliminates all of Chesterfield, Ladue, you know, everybody, anybody's house that, well, they're not, well, that's not what the bill, you can't pick and choose. We like this part of the bill and we'll,
Yes.
they're gonna be sued.
Senate Bill 756 kicked that out, it's not legal.
No, they're still doing it. That's not my point. All they're gonna do is be in court. That's why, hopefully, we wanna make sure that this is done where it's timed correctly.
I've referred to Senate Bill 190 here. 756 also goes along with that. Carol? Yes.
While we're clarifying, this application is for county taxes only, not school, not ambulance, not senior citizen?
That's a good question, and it's also real estate taxes only, not personal property. So,
No,
No, it is
to answer your question, the intent is to have, if it's just, it wouldn't be worth time filling out their form. If it's just the 2 cents that goes to the county. And not the 2 cents, the increase to the 2 cents.
Well, that's why I was asking, is it the whole, everything,
They're under the assumption that the
all the
bill.
political
Senate-
subdivisions that receive?
That gives them permission to freeze all political subdivisions.
That's my
I
point.
disagree with that. That's gonna be contested in court too. There's nothing in that bill that says that.
Because my point is, the county's part of the tax bill is minuscule.
Yes.
which The break is minuscule, and it's costing the county more to implement it
Exactly.
than-
Absolutely.
than people are gonna get.
yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
Carol, if they have a special tax from the school, a special bond issue, that's not included, they don't get the break on that. If it's something special that, Texas City
In
had.
other words, if you
that
vote
they
for
pa-
a
yeah.
tax increase after this goes into effect, you still have to pay
You still have to
taxes
pay
on
the
that, but
taxes.
you've agreed to do that.
So it's, yeah, that's why, I've tried to explain on the phone and I had a guy call this morning and he was, I think he got the gist of it, but it's like, it's hard to get that in your mind.
St. Louis County's had thousands of people apply, and the assumption for most of them, it's gonna freeze, they won't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's not the case. If they don't reassess, you get no savings whatsoever, and you just filled out your farms and everything for nothing. But if it was just the county's 2 cents, even if you raised taxes 10%, that's 2.2 cents, you would save the 0.2% on your taxes, which is about, for most people, about less than $1. So filling out the forms and doing the proof and everything with the possibility of that, I don't think that would be a realistic.
Would it be useful to produce some, I can't think of the term, but sample tax bills showing with and without, so people could see it? Yeah, I'm a sort of
With
an
or without.
auditory.
Let's go a little bit clearer than that. On your new tax bill, there will be a line that shows your credit, and that is your savings. So you get a bill for the full amount of your tax with current assessment, and then you'll see a line that says credit, and then if you qualify, it'll show the full amount minus the credit is what you owe.
Okay, I was just
That
thinking,
won't happen to 26,
I was just thinking,
That
well,
won't
it's,
happen until 27.
27.
Would be the first reassessment.
So I could start the long line like the other day at St. Louis County that was almost a block long to get this, that may happen in 2 years from now. And from the
If
look
our
of the-
savings are gonna be that small, I'm gonna tell Angie, save the damn money, I don't want the application.
Well, the average age,
That works for me.
the average age, the people that were in that line that I saw, they may not be around. That's
The,
No, I'm serious.
I got a call yesterday
They were-
from a guy that's a real estate agent and promised him $400 savings on her taxes, on his taxes. And I don't think it was that big a house. So, you know, agents are lying to people. We also have agents that don't tell people that they're in a floodplain. So we have real estate
And
agent
the
problems.
county's gonna pick up the roads.
Yeah, that's a big one.
As soon as this subdivision's finished, the county's gonna pick up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Here we go, next week.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We'll leave the room.